What does it mean when somebody says you have to be AHIP certified and you have to be ready to sell and pass Medicare Advantage certifications to sell Medicare Advantage products? Well, today we're going to jump right into it, the nitty-gritty, step by step, and exactly what you need to do. This video is sponsored by none other than Lead Heroes, you guys. Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to telemarketed leads and virtual staffing. On the lead side, whether it be Medicare supplement leads, final expense leads, turning 65 leads, they just got something for everybody. They can also actually have you plug in with one of their virtual staff members on the staffing side to where you can pay by the hour for one of their trained and very well vetted staff members to help you out in your business in a virtual assistant format. Just because you watch this video, they're going to give you 10% off any order you make on their website. Link to the site can be found down in the description, so go ahead and check them out. Every single Medicare Advantage company is going to require you to become what's known as certified in order to sell their products. Now, here's the kicker. It's not just the first time around that you have to do this either. It's going to be every single year that you become certified to sell their products. You're going to have to recertify each and every year in order to continue to sell their products, number one, but number two, to retain your book of business and the ability to serve your clients, and most importantly, earn commissions and renewals on your clients. Okay, so let's just kind of jump right into the process of this. So every single Medicare Advantage company is going to require something that's known as an AHIP certification, okay? AHIP stands for America's Health Insurance Producers. It's a third-party education organization that does testing and certifications for insurance agents, particularly Medicare agents in a lot of situations, okay? So AHIP is a test that is going to need to be taken. Now, it does not come for free. This is what I would call the barrier to entry if you're wanting to sell Medicare Advantage products. Now, if you wanted to sell Medicare supplemental products, these things are not required of you for 99.9% of Medicare supplement companies, okay? There is one that comes to mind that does make you take certifications in order to become ready to sell with their said products. And there is one Medicare Advantage company that doesn't require AHIP, but pretty much all the rest of them do. Now, one question I always get about AHIP is, isn't there a NAHU certification? For those of you who aren't familiar with NAHU, NAHU stands for the National Association of Health Insurance Underwriters. It's essentially like a political advocacy group for the rights of insurance agents and brokers across the country. Yes, they do have their own certification, but it's not universally accepted by all of the insurance carriers, whereas AHIP is. So that's why I still recommend taking AHIP instead of NAHU. I do not see any point in taking both. The companies that do accept NAHU, they'll accept either AHIP or NAHU, depending on which one you decide to take. But if you take NAHU and you want to be with a multitude of different carriers, chances are you're going to have to take AHIP anyway, so what's the point in doing it twice, right? I just don't see the point in it all. So AHIP normally costs $175. Now, if you go through some particular FMOs or marketing organization's link for AHIP, essentially, you can get a discount of $50, right? So you can essentially get it for $125, or you can take it through one of the carriers that you're going to represent, say a Humana, an Aetna, somebody like that, right? And they can essentially have you do AHIP through their website. Essentially, you log into the AHIP site through their website, and we'll get more or less, and you get a $50 discount by doing this. Now, the cost that you pay gets you 3 attempts in order to pass AHIP. In order to pass AHIP, you're going to have to score a 90% or above. It is timed for 2 hours, and it is a 50-question multiple choice test, okay? So the way that the format actually works for AHIP is it's going to have 5 modules, okay? So there's 5 training modules that are involved. Then you're going to have to go through each training module, and at the end of each training module, each one has a different topic or essentially premise that it wants you to kind of study on and learn about in each training module. So like one might be Medicare Basics, one might be Medicare Compliance, and so on and so forth. At the end of every single training module that you go through, there is going to be a practice test that you're going to have to essentially go through. Now, you don't have to pass that, but it's probably in your best interest to go through them not only do your best on the test, but try to score 100% if you can, because the questions that are at the end of those modules are going to be the same questions that you will find on your final exam at the end that you're going to have to score 90% on, okay? So some people will say, well, Christian, some insurance companies will allow me to take AHIP a second time if I fail 3 times and I can try again, right? Isn't that the truth? Yes, it is. There are some insurance companies and some Medicare Advantage carriers that will allow you 6 tries to essentially pass AHIP, but not all of them are going to be that gracious with you. So plan on getting it done in the first 3 tries and take it very, very seriously, okay? Now, it's an open book test. You get the practice questions and you can practice taking those tests, so there should be no reason why you shouldn't score very high on AHIP. I score 98%, it seems like, every year. I always miss one every single year. I've never scored 100, but who cares, right? You have to get 90% or above. There's no trophy for getting 100 opposed to 90, okay? So you just have to get through this thing, okay? Once you're through AHIP, there is then what's known as a fraud, waste, and abuse test that you're going to need to pass. But this one's a little bit simpler because it's not nearly as long, and you have unlimited attempts in order to pass that one, okay? So once you've gotten through these 2 things, you will be AHIP certified. So great, right? Now I can sell Medicare Advantage plans and Part D prescription drug plans. Not necessarily. Once AHIP is passed, then every single insurance company that you wish to represent and sell for is going to have their own certification that you're going to have to pass as well. For us as an organization, we have about 25 to 30 Medicare Advantage contracts around the country. So that means I have to do 25 to 30 different certification courses and tests year in and year out. Most people will just pick up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carriers in their market, and they'll call that good, which that's probably the smart thing to do, especially if you're in one state, if not just a couple of states, if you're a local broker or an organization, okay? Now, the carrier certifications and the carrier testing that you're going to have to do does not make you pay for it like AHIP does, so that's kind of a nice thing. However, depending on the actual carrier that you're doing their certification process, you're going to have 3 to 6 attempts to pass their tests, and most of them are going to have multiple tests that you're going to have to go through. So it's very common for a lot of carriers to have a Part D prescription drug plan section. It's very common that another carrier will have that as well as a Medicare Advantage section and a Medicare Basics section, and you might have 2, 3, 4 different tests that you have to go through in order to become fully certified. Some will have you take tests and certifications for their dual special needs plans, which are Medicare, Medicaid eligible special needs programs for Medicare Advantage plans that are richer benefits, right, for people that are in lower income brackets. Others will make you take tests and certification portions of it to do events and things like that. So every company is going to be a little different in their processes. Some are easier to pass than others, but this is something you have to do not only right away to sell Medicare Advantage and Part D prescription drug plans with every single insurance company, but it's something you're going to have to go through each and every year. You have to do AHIP every single year, and you'll have to do each insurance company that you represent's certification process every single year if you wish to retain the ability to sell for them, and if you wish to retain your own book of business that you might have accumulated since the past year, maybe for multiple years. So this is the process. You don't need to go through this with most Medicare supplement organizations. However, I always recommend that new agents come into it with the expectation that you're going to offer both, because that's what's going to be in your best interest of the client. Showing them their options, not taking it upon yourself to limit their options just because you don't want to take a test. It's not as difficult as people make it out to be. It's open book, and you guys can do this. So anyway, guys, I hope you found this video helpful, educational, walking you through the process of each individual of actually what you're going to need to do to become certified and ready to sell for each insurance company. What questions do you guys have? Drop them in the comment section down below. I'd love to kind of have a dialogue with you and assist in any way that I can. If you found this video helpful, insightful, educational, do me a favor and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps us reach more agents just like you who need to hear our message, and trust me, they need it desperately, a lot of them. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when we upload. And until next time, guys, we'll be back next time with another video. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Here's to your success and your abundance, and we'll see you at the top. Thanks, guys.